everyone. This is Jared RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, May 21, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to talk about the information that is rampant out there. And we're going to talk about the different countries, because, of course, here we never get any real, everything's being covered here and not the rest of the planet. And we need to know about the rest of the planet. A lot of the times the question arises, if we don't do, in other words, if we aren't active, then nothing will get done and everything will go to hell in a handbasket. In other words, if we just be, you have different ones on the planet worried that we wouldn't do anything, we would just sit around and be. Now, when you look at our makeup, so to speak, as a civilization, number one, believe it or not, for the most part, it's just that there's only a few troublemakers on this planet. We're a benevolent civilization who has been programmed to follow these creatures into conflicts and everything else because we believe that they're powerful and credible and that they have our best interests. So, but we really are, as a whole, as a people, a civilization, a species, benevolent. If you were not from this planet, and you were to fly through this quadrant of the galaxy, and this outer rim where this solar system is, and you were to scan the planet, you would not. You would scan the what's happened on the planet for years and years and years, and all the conflicts and destruction and death, and you wouldn't. If you had, a family, you were from another planetary system, you would not land here. You just wouldn't. You would just put an X, red X, and just say, let's move on. We're not going to go down there. It's too dangerous. It would be like anything. If you were going to go visit a planet and you looked at it and you saw that it had a lot of violence and conflicts and murder, death, kill, you wouldn't land there. You'd just forget it and just pass on by. In fact, most would. Now, why would other species from other worlds actually land here? Because this civilization has things that they don't have for their civilization, so they come here to try to see if they can duplicate things that this civilization has for their civilization. It's about as simply put as it can be. When we talk about, there's two structures, okay? One is how we are today as a civilization. Some of us are waking up. Some of us are realizing the only way to peace, deep eternal peace, is to go within, discover who and what you are, mastering the ego mind, mastering your thoughts, and being in total peace with the God that you are, the pure consciousness. The other, and then we do certain things. We have, this is a transition. So right now, you have lots of people working and doing and making and, manufacturing and that type of thing. And we've pretty much been that way for as long as any of us can remember. It ain't going to be that way as we continually, on an accelerated path of transition. See, we're going to, we'll have technologies that will assist us. And yeah, there'll be a transition because we are all used to do, just like, let's put it this way, just like sheep or cows or any herd of animals. We're used to doing things certain ways. It's been ingrained in us for eons. So it isn't like it's what we do. It's just accepted that this is what we do. We come in, enter these bodies, and we stay in them, and we do this, and we do that, and we create this, experience that, and then we leave. And eventually we discover that it's all temporary, that who and what we really are, we never die. And pure energy changes form. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can't. You can take an electric weapon and fire each electric weapon at each other, and then you'd think that, well, the energy's gone. Energy it cannot be destroyed. It changes form molecularly. You wouldn't notice it. They say to you it would be gone. But it just changes form. So it's like if you have a plasma laser and you fire it and it hits the hull of a vessel and causes damage, well, you have the metals, the hull, which is all energy, the frequency energy that is taken on the form of a rigid material to repel another energy that has taken on a different form. So when you really look at this, we have all of these different energies taking on different form, but pretty much puritanically, they're the same energy. It's like us as drops of the golden ocean, holding the essence of the golden ocean. So that makes us the ocean. And when we fall into the ocean, we become the ocean. This is why the drop appears to be separate, right? It does. Otherwise, you got a drop, golden ocean drop right here. It's separate. You can't tell me it's not separate. It's separate from that ocean. Okay. But it holds the essence of that ocean. It can't be separate. It appears, the illusion is, that it is separate. But it then drops into the ocean, becomes the ocean. You are the ocean is you. There's many things on this planet that we don't understand because it's never been presented to us in a truthful manner. So we believe certain things as we grow up in these bodies, as these bodies age. We take in certain bits of information and compile them, and our subconscious mind records them. And when that happens, it then randomly plays it back whenever. There's a lot of times where we'll be doing something and we're doing it, but it feels real familiar. And you don't zero in on, did you do this before in this lifetime? It's very familiar to you. And you don't know why. And a lot of the times we carry things with us from other lifetimes. We bring them with us. And this is why sometimes you'll be doing something and you'll just swear up and down that you've done it before because you have, but not in this life. I know it's kind of eerie, but it's true. We carry things with us, even though we don't have full recollection of past lives. Remember, we have that thing called amnesia. So sometimes, from time to time, we find ourselves doing things that are very familiar, that it's kind of befuddling, but we know we've done them before, we just don't know when and where. And it is fascinating because even though we have the amnesia of our past lives, we still carry pieces with us of past lives into new lives. So we bring them into a new life, and they're stored in our subconscious mind. And those things, the subconscious mind will play them back. And whatever it is, we'll be doing. Now, we don't always, we're doing something, we don't always feel like we've done it before. Most of the time, we don't feel like we've done it before. But every now and then, it's like a little nudge. Did we know we've done this before? So we're trained as a civilization and programmed as a species to respond, react, and do things in certain ways. And we've been trained really well. But what happens is happening more of, is that there are those of us who break away from the norm, if you want to call it the norm, of our existence in this life, where we begin to realize that you just say to yourself, I'm not going to do this anymore. This just doesn't, it never has felt right, and I'm just not going to do it anymore. It keeps us distracted. See? It keeps us constantly distracted. Why does it keep us distracted? So we will not discover once and for all who and what we are. See? Why do you think there are so many conflicts, and all the time, throughout the ages, conflicts and challenges with each other and belief systems that the so-called leaders throughout the ages have imparted information to the people that you got to do this way, and certain laws that were put into action. And so we do all this, and it gets to the point where we don't even think about it. We just do it. And we're so distracted because, remember, there's thousands of religions on this planet. Thousands of them. And they're very distracting because a lot of them teach us all untruths. And when you're living a life that you have no reference with, in other words, you can't go into your library, your great hall, and reference the life that you had before this one. So what do? You wing it. We all wing it. We wing it in these lives. We just, we do what we can. We interact, interface. Most of the time, we live in the ego mind because the reason we suffer. We worry, we stress, we fear, we have anxiety. And the reason that is because it's the ego mind. The ego mind is never satisfied. It's very insecure. Always needs to be protected. And this is when you see us, some of us, protecting ourselves from somebody's words or accusations or something, see? And we do that because we're protecting the ego. Because what we really are is pure consciousness. And it is indestructible. It really is. And we don't need to protect it. See, this is a variance. It's a difference. But we do it anyway. We're always wanting to. Some of us, not so much, but the majority of us always wanting to win, achieve. Be the head honcho. Be this. Be that. Be supremely special. Go out of our way to impress others. And that's all ego mind. Every single bit of it. Now, do the majority of us on this planet, do we know that the ego mind controls us, directs us? And this is why there's so much suffering on the planet? No, I don't believe we do. Because it's something we've done for so many lifetimes. To us, it's just the norm. Right? Some people will say, well, You've got to have competition. You've got to have, not really, you have desires for oneself. That's motivation. We have the motivators. They're just disjointed because once we do, and we will, discover that we are a God, a pure consciousness in this body, that we use the body to experience material physical life and also to manifest whatever we choose. Most of us aren't in sync with that yet. Now, would it mean that, let's say that you discover that and you begin to, you go within, you stay within, you're in heart-mindedness, you have mastered your ego, mind, and your thought, and you know that you are an omnipotently powerful, supreme manifesting, abundant being that never dies. And you can manifest anything you want. Now, do you work? Right? Do you work hard? You ask yourself that. And we do that because it's all we know. It's all we know. But we become aware of these truths about ourselves. And not everybody will be in sync with it. So we help others. You want to call that work? Call it work. We help others. See, we can manifest anything we choose, and we help others. In our society, in any species, not all of us are capable of taking care of ourselves. We take it for granted, the population, the civilization. This species takes it for granted that everybody on the planet should be able to take care of themselves. It's not true. It's like anything else. There are those in our civilization that just aren't able to take care of themselves. And so, as a whole, as a civilization, we help them. And as we help them, we're helping ourselves. And it progresses. And they begin to learn and experience avenues, and they begin to realize that they can manifest things. Right? You see how this goes? It's kind of a cascading effect. So, realize that in this meditation, and you find a comfortable position, place, you have no outside interference, you're relaxing into your body, or you're relaxed into your body. You're still as a statue and you're focused on your natural breath rising and falling. You can see, because remember, we're not here to judge. We never were. We're not here to judge ourselves, others, or anything. We're here to learn, experience, watch, observe. And this is, isn't it true that when you're watching somebody do something, right, and you want to learn how to do it, you can learn a lot quicker if you watch someone do it rather than read about it in a book. And I've mentioned this briefly a few times. But we would learn several times faster if we used pictures. Okay? Not books and words, pictures. This is how we as a species have learned to do a lot of things. Show me, right? Show me how to do this. And so someone shows you how to do it, and you pick up on it, for the most part, pretty quickly. A lot different than trying to figure out instructions to something. And we've all been there. You go, I can't make head nor tails of this. Which language is this? It's like 18 different languages, and I got to go over here. Okay, oh yeah, there's English. Okay, so these instructions suck. But when you watch somebody do something, which is our natural state of being, this is how we learn. This is why children, when we were all kids, what would we do? We would copy. We would watch the adults and we would copy them. Is that right? You would copy them because you would revere, in most cases, you would revere the adults, the mother, the father, and you would want to be like them, so you would copy them. It's like the little boy copying the dad shaving, right? Or the little girl copying the mother, putting on makeup, a purse, the dress, the shoes. Because you want to be like them. You want to be them. And it's interesting. So on this planet, we copy each other. If we like something, because remember, we are not separate. So if we like something, we want it, right? You like something, you want it. So you have it and you enjoy it. And each time we as a collective create things for variety. We aren't all wearing white on the planet, you know. That'd get boring, wouldn't it? This is what this life's about, is to enjoy it. You know, some people like a lot of color, some people don't. Some people like specific colors, some people don't. It's interesting how we identify with certain things. What's your favorite color? Red. What's your favorite color? Orange. This is the diversity of the civilization. You imagine all the creative minds on this planet that are locked away, right? You doubt, you question, you fear. You don't realize how powerful you are and what you can do in this very moment. Now, people would say, and I've had people ask me, well, what if you're evil and you discover you can manifest anything you want? Okay? This would not happen because the whole part of this and the different steps is that we choose to become heart-minded. Heart-minded has nothing to do with the ego. If you're an ego mind, yeah, there would be temptations for us to create things that would cause other people harm. And this is why I always say, not ego mind. We don't care to be an ego mind. We are moving out of ego mind. And more of us are identifying with that and comprehending it. It isn't a negative. It's a discovery, which is a good one. And we discover why the ego mind is there. Okay, we know it's an illusion. Why did we create it? We created it so that we could master it, so that it could be in peace. See? And along the way, it teaches us a ton of things. A ton. So it's a great master teacher. We just don't care to have it be our master. And so then we get to the point where we say, you know, I prefer to be in heart-mindedness where I am at total peace. This way, none of us are protecting our egos. You know why? Because we're content. We know that we have connected with the God, the pure consciousness within. Remember, the God is housed within the soul. That's really going deep. And we're all here. Every one of us are here. You know, someone might say, well, you know, that their life is a mess and it's always been a mess, and you know, it's not, life isn't worth it. When I did volunteer suicide line years ago, we found that the people that would talk about ending their life really 9 times out of 10 never did. They wanted love, they wanted attention. And the ones that never talked about it, they would just call to talk, right? The ones that never really talked about it were the ones that would. It's interesting. And see, it can get to that point because we don't know who and what we are. We get frustrated, we get confused, and we get irritated, and we get depressed. And, you know, we try to use different things to so that we can hide or forget about like drugs and all kinds of stuff, so that will take us. It's a temporary thing because you could crawl into a bottle, wake up the next morning, and everything's still there. You could go into fentanyl addiction, and you wake up the next morning, you have more fentanyl. You keep it so that you're always disoriented. You don't have to focus on anything. And some of us do that. And that's all ego mind. Nothing else. It's ego mind. And so what we do is, those of us that say, you know, I'm going to discover my God, the God that I am, my pure consciousness, and I'm going to practice being in the now, period, which is heart-mindedness, where the ego mind doesn't exist. At first, it's kind of, bumpy, because we're not used to it. And we have the propensity, we want to, we feel more comfortable, believe it or not, being an ego mind than we do heart mind in the beginning. And this is all connected. It is heart-mindedness, as that's where we're all going, into heart-mindedness, so that we can master our thoughts and ego mind and become one with the God that we are. And then this planet becomes a God planet paradise. And it's in the transition right now, because more people on this planet, and you can't count them. What they do with senses is see, no, it's, you feel it, that there's more and more people throughout this planet that are focusing on the heart mind. They really don't care anymore to be an ego mind. We've done it for what? Millions of years. Billions. And so now we shift. We shift into heart-mindedness and not ego-mindedness. Now, will everybody do that? Eventually. But in this run, no, there'll be those that will leave the body and then reincarnate again and maybe again until they get it. We, talking about this in this meditation, are already going there. It doesn't matter. All of us have these, they're kind of like we test ourselves, right? And we manifest things in. Sometimes we get pulled off course, and then we realize it and say, okay, ego mind, stop, you're not in charge here. And then ego mind backs off, and you go right back into heart-mindedness. It's not that we don't know what ego mind's about, because I believe we all do to a certain extent. We all know what it's about. And without it, think about this. Without the ego mind, how would we know to find out about who and what we are? See, everything plays its role, its impact. Everything has a purpose. It's finite. It is divine perfection. The universe is designed. It is absolutely perfect. And everything is perfect exactly the way it is in this very moment. It's just how we view things and the programming that comes in incessantly for years and years and years and years and years. We want, on this planet, we want everyone to be at peace, enjoying their lives in heart-mindedness without having to protect the ego mind, because the ego mind is no longer there. We don't care about conflict. We really don't. We're not interested in, like we were 100 years ago, 50 or 60, 70, 80 years ago. We're just not there with it. Have you picked up on that? We're not. And I believe the majority is getting there. It's taken thousands of years to get here. But it doesn't stick. You know what I mean? Used to stick with us. Doesn't anymore. Falls off. Because we don't have a surface like Velcro anymore. We've got a surface that's so slick nothing sticks to it. Just rolls off. And the reason is because we have chosen as a collective to go within, embrace the God, the pure consciousness that we are, and the master manifestors that we are. So we manifest what we care for. We manifest our bodies living to be 900, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years in perfect health. The power that we are in this body is, you can't measure it. It's not measurable. Okay? And we just haven't learned how to direct it, how to focus it with these bodies. Because that's why in these bodies, that's why we're master manifestors. We're not into that when we're out of these bodies. We really aren't. See? That's a whole different existence. Completely. And when we're, when we have no issue anymore to look at both sides of the coin and walk the third side, which is the middle path, the edge, we're in heart-mind. Because when you walk the third side, the edge, your fear's gone, your anxiety's gone. It's all gone. It's not there anymore. You're at peace. Your confidence is 100%. Your trust is 100%. Your faith is 100% with yourself and the universe. See, when you manifest, you know it. You know you'll manifest it immediately. You're not going to have to wait a year, a month, or whatever. And we all have this, and it's getting ready to, bust loose. And deep eternal love for all things, ourselves and all things. God is life, life is God. It's highest supreme value in the universes. It really is a no-brainer. It is the highest of the highest high. The highest supreme value of all the universes, all the connecting universes, the metaverses. We haven't quite gotten there yet with that. Because if we were there, there would be no conflicts on this planet. There would be no hatred. There would be no revenge. There would be no greed. There would be no manipulation. No distractions. We have a huge spiritual depth within these bodies. And it is so powerful, and with the photon energy field flooding this planet for the next few thousand years, this whole solar system is passing through it. This is why all this is happening. And the light is setting us free. And our motivation is to go within deeper and deeper and deeper. Embrace all parts of ourselves with deep eternal love. All parts. We ignore nothing about ourselves. We embrace it. We love it. Even the bad parts and the dark parts. We love them all. Genuinely, authentically. I join you in meditation. I'll return and close the sound. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your natural breath, rising and falling. For today, investigate the experience called breathing all day long. Keep bringing your mind back to the breath, following it wherever it flows. Just be with it. If it's shallow, deep, fast, or sluggish, do not try to change your breath in any way. Simply connect to it. Feel it from your heart, as if you're making friends with it. Notice how it changes when you merge with it and allow yourself to become it fully. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We'll return here tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call, and Thursday, May 22, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our Global Guided Meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.